a nation and the people on the move, keeping you up to date. Belmopan Weekly.
Tonight on Belmopan Weekly, Minister of Public Utilities, Information and Broadcasting speaks on telecommunications in Belize. The Ministry of Health gives back in Corozal. Plus, a special envoy for women and children launches Inspiration 2012. These and more top news stories. Good evening and thanks so much for being with us on this Thursday, the 15th of December 2011. I am Carolyn Crawford. From the 5th to the 8th of December 2011, the Minister of Public Utilities, Information and Broadcasting attended a Caribbean Telecommunications Union statutory meeting and ministerial strategic seminar in Barbados. Among other strategic objectives, the meetings were geared towards assisting in the development of national components and regional and international telecommunication improvements. Belmopan Weekly's Claudia Grote interviewed the minister on his interventions.
This week, we had the opportunity to speak with the Minister of Public Utilities and Information and Broadcasting, Honorable Elvin Penner, and find out what news he has to offer us with regards to telecommunication.
I was attending a CTU conference, which is short for Caribbean Telecommunications Union, where they were discussing a lot of issues with regards to telecommunication and what all telecommunication is now including. It's no longer just a handheld phone set that you are dialing from one person to another. The telecommunication industry has developed into something much more useful and at the same time much more sensitive. So they wanted to sensitize us on how we could work together on improving telecommunication, but at the same time to make it safe.
The general objectives of the meetings are one of collaboration, unity and efficiency, which is CARICOM's aim for the most part. But at these meetings that deliberate on telecommunications regionally, how does this directly affect Belizeans?
Actually, the objective of the CTU is to, like I said, get everybody together and be more efficient. So for us to be able to competitively have the telecommunication industry running and being successful and including us having latest technology is only by you working together as a group. If you make the whole Caribbean region basically work as one country, if you add all the populations from all the islands, we become a major block to contend with when you are a provider of these services. So if we stick together as a group and we implement a lot of things together, we even buy certain technologies together, we can definitely, we are able to negotiate better prices, better services than we would if we were doing it as individual countries.
Belize is an integral part of CARICOM and stands to benefit from the Caribbean Telecommunications Union. Minister Penner attended the Caribbean Telecommunications Union's 14th General Conference of Ministers and the 9th Ministerial Strategic Seminar last week in Barbados, and we were curious to know what were some of the topics covered.
The major focus was on the security of what's happening now on the internet, of course to protect our children as well. We all know that it's hard for us to find a child coming home from work now, they're reading a book. They will more likely be on the internet probably doing their homework and some research on the internet, or sending an email to a friend, or even much more interesting nowadays, spending a lot of time on the Facebook and watching videos pass via YouTube from person to person and send back and forth. So even in that aspect, we have to find out how to secure our kids as well, so that they won't send pictures and information out there that would make them vulnerable, which as a parent we have to do our part, but at the same time the technology has to look at that as well to make sure that our kids are protected.
The minister reiterated that the government's decision to make Belize Telecommunications Limited the main telecommunications source owned by Belizeans was the best way of securing and protecting Belizean telecommunications and investments for our country's future. Minister Penner had these parting words for the citizens of Belize.
Well, first of all, I would like to wish a happy and Merry Christmas to my family, and also a happy and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's to the staff of the public utilities, which includes information and broadcasting, and also a happy and Merry Christmas to all the constituency of Kaya Northeast. I will definitely spend some time in visiting with them, but I hope they all have a Merry Christmas, and to the rest of the country. And I know that this is a time of the year when a lot of people have festivities and go out and party, so I'd like to make sure that I beg everybody to be responsible and make it a safe and memorable Christmas. And once again, Merry Christmas, Belize.
Belize is one of the 15 CARICOM member states who join the other 5 CARICOM associate member states in the Caribbean Telecommunications Union. They seek to coordinate all efforts in the adoption of efficient operation methods in national, regional, and international telecommunication technology. Sticking with the Ministry of Public Utilities, Information and Broadcasting, we asked Minister Penner about the rumored reduction in electricity rates. Turns out it's no rumor. Belize Electricity Limited has already submitted its tariff application, and the good news is that they are proposing to immediately lower electricity rates by 3.4% starting mid-next year. What does this mean for Belizeans? Over $25 million in savings over the 4-year tariff period. He told us a little more about the process.
The PUC has to make sure that first and foremost the consumer doesn't overpay for the product it gets, and that the consumer gets a reliable product, a reasonable product, but at the same time that the producer, the provider, does not have to provide a product at a cost they can't afford, because then that product will no longer be available. So if we had stayed with BEL, with the previous owners, very likely we would have soon experienced outage of electricity because the company was not viable. So hence the PUC has to be involved in any rate change to make sure that all these things are being taken care of.
Minister Penner went on to explain the advantages of having BEL once again under government control.
What we have seen now that we have a board running BEL, they have again become viable. The company previous of us taking it over was basically bankrupt, and the supply of electricity was no longer sure. So we have been able with the new board to make adjustments to the company to make it viable and even profitable at the present rate. So we do believe therefore that we can afford to lower rates and make sure that our consumers can benefit from these rates.
Up next, more of our top news stories. Stay with us.
Every year, thousands of people travel to foreign countries because of a promise for a better life. Many times, however, the promise of better wages, a better job, and a better life for themselves and their families turns out to be a lie. They become victims of human trafficking. You could be a victim of trafficking if your employer or someone acting on his or her behalf is holding your passport, cedula, birth certificate, or other travel documents with or without your consent. Someone has tricked or forced you to leave your country. You are not told the truth about the kind of work you are doing. You are forced to work in order to pay off a loan debt. A stranger has paid for or helped you to get your visa. If you or someone you know is a victim of human trafficking, visit or call the Ministry of Human Development Office or the nearest police station.
Bust it all when sun a shine. before you get caught up in this lifestyle, think about what could happen. You could end up in prison. Quick end to your life. Your family becomes a target.
Have to protect the life where we live, so you know, so we have to think smart. Have to think smart. Have to protect the life where we live, so you have to watch your head back. Watch your head back. And you don't want to do nothing negative, got the past away you can't get back. You fit, you fit.
Don't get caught up in the game. You are worth so much more. The Community Rehabilitation Department is here to support you and your family. Counseling, life skills, family support, educational assistance, linkages to other programs and services, all in an effort to support you as you choose a better life. So come in and visit the Community Rehabilitation Department. Come in, make we reason. It's not too late to start working towards a positive future. For more information on support services for families of children at risk of coming in conflict with the law, contact the Community Rehabilitation Department at 223-2716. This message is brought to you by the Community Rehabilitation Department, the National Committee for Families and Children, and UNICEF.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, thanks for tuning in. More top news stories now. Christmas is a time for giving, caring, and sharing, and that is exactly what took place at the Corozal Civic Center last Friday, where National Drug Abuse Control Council managed to gather the homeless persons of that town under one roof for a Christmas treat.
We see them every day walking aimlessly around our towns, pedestrians of anguish, discarded as refuse by the society they once belonged to, and stripped of all human dignity. But not today. Oh no, today they were kings and queens being waited upon by members of the same society that rejects them. Royalty surrounded by their peons. Indeed, a reversal of the accepted societal status quo. For the second year in a row, the National Drug Abuse Control Council and the Minister of Health, Honorable Pablo Marin, held the true meaning of Christmas event at the Corozal Community Center. Over 40 residents of Corozal town considered indigent were treated to a bath, clean clothes, a haircut and shave for those who wanted, and breakfast and lunch. Esnerveos of ENDAC told us of the importance of such an event.
The whole purpose of the activity is, one, to give back again to the community, and at the same time to showcase the work that we are doing here in Corozal District. Basically what we are doing is that we are getting all the indigent people that are in the community of Corozal town and bringing them to the Civic Center, and they're going through a process of evaluation and giving them services such as cutting their hair, providing medical treatment, medication, and clothing. We bathe them, and at the same time we provide them a sense of guidance, so that whenever they leave the Civic Center they will be able to incorporate back again into the society as part of that concept of giving back again for the true meaning of Christmas.
In addressing the guests, Minister of Health Honorable Pablo Marin stressed that community participation is key and good things happen when forces are incorporated.
This is only showing that we do care for our people here in Corozal, and this year is much better because we have a lot of people that now are coming along to help us in this event. You know that ENDAC is the group that is in charge in my ministry for the reduction of drug and drug abuse, and this is what we want to see, that our community comes together for a good purpose, to enlighten the rest of the people exactly what we need to do to be drug-free. Before, it was only ENDAC and Ministry of Education. Today we have ENDAC, Ministry of Education, we have the Customs, we have Baja, we have Credit Union, we have a lot of them, but especially I want to give thanks to the school, to Adventist College, for coming here, because this is a way to motivate the people to know that we really care for them. We have students coming here, the teachers coming, and I can't forget the doctors. So you see, this is something more like a family. Christmas is for us to give.
And those on the receiving end were more than grateful for this noble gesture on the part of NDAC, Ministry of Health, and the community groups that made it all possible.
We are happy for everything, sir. God sent it to me. Well, it's going to do all right. We everything, we hospital, treatment, everything. We doctor in house, treat me all right. So I got a lot of people who could help me.
Well, thanks and praise. Although I could have gone and go somewhere else, but right here it's like it's my party, and it's my people, and I know they have done a good job, and they know what to do. I know these guys. I know the women and men, and at the same time, I'm proud of it.
S. Nerveos also spoke on the broader aim for having this activity, that is, to see these people given a sense of purpose and eventually rehabilitated for their incorporation into society. He told us about some of the things that NDAC is doing to achieve this.
What we are proposing is that we do this activity every 2 to 3 months within the year and make the Christmas activity the bigger one, right? In terms of the activities that the National Drug Council is doing here in Corozal and is doing throughout the country are that we're implementing effective drug prevention programs based on evidence, right? Whereby we are making sure that we'll be able to target the major issues in terms of the consumption and the abuse of licit and illicit drugs. Mainly in the northern part of the country, one of the biggest issues is alcohol, and as you can see, most of the clients that we're having here today are people that are in one way or the other addicted to alcohol. Hence the reason why this program or this activity that we're having today is very essential, so that we will be able to provide the persons or the clients that are coming in the idea and the knowledge that the National Drug Council is here and that we provide services in treatment and rehabilitation.
So whether they came here today to seek help from their addiction or merely to partake in the gifts that were being offered to them, one thing was for certain: their long-lost dignity was returned to them, even if it was just for a brief moment.
She calls out to the man on the street, "Sir, can you help me? It's cold and I'm nowhere to sleep. Is there somewhere you can tell me?" He walks on, doesn't look back. He pretends he can't hear her, starts to whistle as he crosses.
The event was sponsored by Minister of Health, Honorable Pablo Marin, NDAC, and several members of the Corozal business community. NDAC has offices in every district, and they invite anyone who believes he or she needs help to visit those offices. Santa Claus came early in the San Antonio Kaya district, as on Monday the 12th of December, the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Cooperative Department was again ensuring that our Belizeans were equipped with the right tools to increase their income, secure their food and stability, and better their livelihood. The minister handed over a freezer to the Ushmolka Bakery, a women's group, and 2 sewing machines to the Ushmolka Youth and Agro-Processing Group. He also handed over 3 carrot cleaners to the San Antonio farmers, an assortment of bean and corn seeds for their planting.
This is an overall part of the ministry's focus on the farm family. We are targeting the farm family so that they can find gainful employment through there, so that they can improve on their quality of living.
The government of Belize's commitment and ongoing cooperation with other countries is in full swing, as the funding comes directly from the Venezuelan government, which is a part of the ALBA funds. Both governments are committed to ensure Belize's food security, economic empowerment, and improvement. The Minister of Agriculture also informed the public that Belize will be getting assistance for the second phases on the control of Juan Long Bin in Belize, and the assistance will come from Sanasica, Mexico, with a sum of $366,000 for the year 2012. The Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Rene Montero, took the opportunity to wish his family, friends, and members of his constituency a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
I would also like to thank all the people of Cayo Central who have supported me, at the same time wish them a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and may God bless them in 2012.
We'll be right back with more Belmopan Weekly in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
We regret to inform you that there are no vacancies at this time. You have no skills, education,
you are not prepared.
You are not qualified.
This position requires a high school diploma.
We're not interested. Try again
We're
next
not
month or
interested.
come
We're not
back next
qualified.
week.
We're not
There are
interested.
no job openings at this time.
I'm sorry, but we cannot accept him back this year.
We are only as strong as the foundation we are built upon. Remember, as a society, we reap what we sow. However, it's never too late to engage our youths positively and support their dreams and aspirations. For more information on support services for families of children at risk of coming in conflict with the law, contact the Community Rehabilitation Department at 223-2716. This message is brought to you by the Community Rehabilitation Department, the National Committee for Families and Children, and UNICEF.
On Friday, the 9th of December 2011, the Special Envoy for Women and Children and her office once again raised the bar in Belize when it comes to our children. As per usual, the focus was not on her, Mrs. Kim Simplis Barrow, but emphasis was placed on our Belizean children as we attended the unveiling of the second annual calendar, Inspiration 2012. Belmopan Weekly's Claudia Groach was there and has this report.
I would like to start by asking you all to give these young people.
The Yuletide spirit filled the room as participants, artists, children, and other invited guests filled the House of Culture last Friday. There was a general feeling of cheer and goodwill as all those involved witnessed their months of hard work come to fruition at the launch of the calendar titled Inspiration 2012. The theme of the calendar is peace and the focus, our very own Belizean children. The ceremony was short but sweet, and we caught up with the program coordinator from the Office of the Special Envoy of Women and Children, Ms. Kendra Griffith.
This calendar is actually the brainchild of Mrs. Kim Simplis Barrow. She is our Special Envoy for Women and Children, and one of the duties under that title is really advocacy. And this calendar is a means of advocacy for children who have disabilities, because what it does is to showcase their abilities and to let people be aware that, you know what, whatever disability that you may have, you still have a lot of abilities. And so we are just highlighting one aspect of the abilities that these children have, and also to show the resiliency of these children.
The children featured in the calendar were comprised from a pool of children countrywide. We asked Ms. Griffith to qualify the selection process of these young artists.
We start working on this calendar from about this summer, because really the children, we should note also, they come from all over the country. They're not just Belize City centered and thing, and they're in villages and stuff. And so Care Belize, around the summer, they go out and they start seeking them and telling them what the theme is. This year we chose peace, because violence was a major concern for a lot of people this year, and we don't want to focus on violence. We want to focus on the peace that can come about if people are really willing to work together. And so they give them the theme for peace, and then really they just use their imagination and their creativity to create something for us.
Although this project was the brainchild of Mrs. Kim Simplis Burrow, as we learned earlier, it was a concerted effort among various sponsors such as the Government of Belize, the Ministry of Human Development, Lifeline, the Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan, Care Belize, and the Special Olympics, to name a few, along with the Special Envoy for Women and Children. Belmopan Weekly spoke with Tanya McNabb, owner and director of McNabb's Designs, who produced the calendar and annual agenda planner.
So for the first time last year we did it, and we had an overwhelming response of success. People loved it, and we felt that it was a good way for us to continue to give back, and so that's why we agreed to do it in the second year. It's a joy for us to be able to assist these children in expressing themselves, because this is what they do in their drawings, and we give them a theme and they get very creative, and then it's a nice process for us. As a designer, this is what we do every day. So for us, designing the calendar and producing something like this is a great way for us to give back.
And indeed, they did give back. Based on the reception to last year's calendar, the team decided to try something new, the production of an agenda planner for the year 2012. 50% of the proceeds from the sale of the planners were handed over to the representative of the Special Envoy for Women and Children. That 50% amounted to a whopping $28,000. CEO of the Ministry of Human Development, Ms. Judith Alpuche, told us what the generous donation will be used for.
The proceeds from the agenda was done in collaboration with McNabb Designs. They produce the agenda, both agenda and calendar, and what they have done is to contribute 50% of the proceeds of the agenda towards the building of the Inspiration Center. The Inspiration Center is another one of the Special Envoy's projects, and it will be a center for children with special needs, where they can have the kind of rehabilitation and health services that they need, various programs geared for them, especially for them art, dance, creative programming. But it will also cater to other children. It will be open to other children. So it's really a reverse inclusion center. And it is, again, it will be a wonderful space for the fostering of tolerance and understanding among children.
For Belmopan Weekly, I am Claudia Grouch.
In light of the Christmas spirit, if you would like to contribute to the Project Inspiration, you can do so by getting more information at the Special Envoy for Women and Children's office at phone number 223-1941 or 223-1942. Well, that's it for another edition of Belmopan Weekly. We'll be taking a 2-week hiatus, but we'll return immediately thereafter. We here at Belmopan Weekly would like to wish everyone a safe and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to provide feedback or send in your comments, please feel free to email us at production@pressoffice.gov.bz or visit our Facebook page and let us know what you think. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a great week until next time. I'm Carolyn Crawford.